Good afternoon and welcome to Oriam here on the outskirts of Edinburgh as we begin our coverage of the 2016 Victory Shield. We really do have an action-packed week of football coming up here. First of all, first game up today, Scotland against Northern Ireland, kicking off in just over 5 minutes, and that will be followed of course by Wales against the Republic of Ireland. But that's not where it stops. Throughout the rest of the week, Tuesday the first, Republic of Ireland against Northern Ireland, and then Scotland against Wales, and we finish on Friday, Northern Ireland against Wales, followed by Scotland against the Republic of Ireland. So plenty to look forward to over the course of the week. I'm Gordon Duncan, I'll be commentating on this week's matches, and I'm pleased to say I'm going to be joined by Kenny Miller of the Scottish Sun. Kenny, you must be looking forward to this, an exciting week in prospect.
Afternoon, Gordon, very much looking forward to it. Great to see a bumper crowd at the new state-of-the-art Oriam Performance Centre here in Edinburgh, and I think it's a 500 sellout if I'm right. There's certainly a lot of players to keep an eye out for.
Absolutely, I was looking at the queues sneaking away around the car park as I was making my way into Oriam this afternoon. Beautiful 3G surface in front of us, just being watered at the moment to make sure the playing surface is ideal for these young players, and I'm sure we will see some fast and exciting football. If you're not familiar with the format, I'm sure you are. The Victory Shield started way back in 1925. Scotland won it back then. It took a bit of a break. It was revived in 1946 and it's been going strong ever since. Wales are the reigning champions, so we'll see them a little bit later on, 5 o'clock, against the Republic of Ireland. But like I said, first up and just making their way onto the field at the moment are the hosts for the 2016 Victory Shield, Scotland, and they are up against Northern Ireland. You can get in touch with us. We want to know what you think of the games, what you think of the promising players on show. You can get in touch on Twitter at the Scottish FA, at Scottish FA, or indeed using the hashtag Victory Shield. Kenny, we might even read some of them out. What do you think?
Maybe the cleaner ones, Gordon, will get you on quality control.
Absolutely, let's keep it polite, shall we? I'm sure we will. Scotland team looking relaxed as they make their way out onto the field at the moment, just taking in their surroundings. A bumper crowd, as Kenny says, inside Oriam. Some famous faces in the world of football as well, here to see the stars of tomorrow. And this is a tournament which has proven to be an excellent starting ground for some well-established internationals. Darren Fletcher, the Scotland captain, played in this tournament. He's gone on to win 75 caps for the national team. Famous names, Alan McGregor, Stephen Fletcher as well. So Kenny, clearly a big incentive for these boys. We know they've got a long way to go, but a great chance for them to start off their international career and impress.
I think the big thing for these boys is to enjoy the experience, because I was there 3 years ago when Scotland won it outright the last time, and I think the captain of the night was Leon Jones from Hearts, and poor Leon's had a terrible time since with injuries, and I spoke to him last week about his experience, and he said the big thing for these boys is just to enjoy every minute, because you don't know what's round the corner.
Okay, let's look at the squads for the first game up against Scotland is Northern Ireland, of course. We'll start with the hosts, as is customary. Ryan Mullen is going to be the man in goals for Scotland. It's going to be a back four of Chris Hamilton, the captain, Taylor Wilson, Lewis Binks and Jamie Walker. The midfield three, Billy Gilmore, Dean Campbell and Harry Cochrane. And the attack, Jamie Semple, Mark Leonard and Anthony McDonald. As you would expect, quite a few substitutes. Ethan Irahan, a man you might have heard of, Karamoko Dembele, Archie Mayer, Harris O'Connor, Kane O'Connor, Zach Butterworth, Kieran McGrath, Josh Walker, Aaron Presley, Andrew Kerr and Nathan Patterson. As for Northern Ireland, they go with Tiernan Parker in goal. It's a back four of Ethan Warnock, Jack Conlon, Sam McClelland and Jake Corbett. Ethan Galbraith, Jordan McKenniff, Barry McEwen and Ben Wilson in the midfield. And up front, Conor Farrelly and Callum Ferris. As I said, a number of subs as well for the Northern Ireland. Paul McLaughlin, Jack Scott, Lee O'Brien, Andrew Whiteside, George Curran, Paul McAdory, Caelan McLaughlin, Christopher Conn and Daniel Finlayson. So Scotland perhaps on paper, Kenny, going with a more attacking formation. Are the hosts, would you expect them to try and press home their advantage early on in this first game?
Well, I would. I was lucky I got a quick look at this Scotland team earlier, it's last month, for the first ever international stage at Oriam. It was a 4-0 friendly defeat to France, but the scoreline bore no reflection on the game itself. I have to say the standout player that night was the Rangers midfielder Billy Gilmore, so I'm looking forward to seeing a bit more of him. But certainly an attack-minded team.
There certainly is a bit of excitement around Billy Gilmore. You're a man who's seen him before. Give us your expert insight then. What can the fans in here expect from him this afternoon?
He's one of these names. There's been a lot of talk about him for a long time. I don't even think he lets his head drop to tie his shoes. I mean, he plays constantly with his head up all the time, always wants the ball in tight areas, happy to take responsibility, and certainly I think he'll be a prominent figure for the Scotland team this week.
The Northern Ireland team just making their way out onto the playing surface here as well. I'm looking at this surface, Kenny, certainly no excuses. A wonderful facility here on the outskirts of Edinburgh. Oriam, for those who haven't been, I would urge you to get along, get down here, check out these facilities. A lot of money's been spent, Kenny, and it certainly looks to be worth it. What a stage for these guys to come and show what they can do.
I think it's been a project that Stuart Regan, the SFA Chief Executive, has been very, very passionate about. But as he said himself, it's only bricks and it's only a building. It's about what Scotland and what the SFA do with it from here on in.
And here come the teams, led out today by referee David Munro. Like I say, Scotland captain is going to be right back Chris Hamilton, and the captain for Northern Ireland leading his side out is Connor Farrelly. We've already touched on Scotland. Kenny, what do you make of Northern Ireland? A real chance for them to perhaps get out early and silence this home crowd?
Well, I spoke to a few people that are closely connected with the team, and it's all the usual cliches about well organised and physical, so again it'll be interesting to see how they measure up.
All the boys, just looking at the expressions in their faces, Kenny, some big smiles. They're all having a brief look over at their friends and family, not giving too much away, eyes on the prize and very much focused on the job in hand.
Listen, it's a special occasion for these people as well. As you say, this tournament's littered with success stories, but also with boys that never progressed beyond this level, so again, really an occasion to savour for everyone involved.
There we are. We said the man in the middle was David Munro, well as assistant referee John McCrossan is assistant referee number 1, and assistant referee number 2 is Paul O'Neill, and we're going to take some time just for the national anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for Flag of Scotland.
And there we are, that concludes the national anthem. Game time is almost upon us, but remember, we want to hear what you think of today's action. Get in touch using the hashtag #VictoryShield on Twitter, and I'm sure those of you who are watching will already know, but why not tell your friends? Let's get involved. Watch the games, youtube.com/Scotland National Team. All the games from all across the week available live and for catch-up. Just moments away, the handshakes are underway. Kenny, what are you expecting from this opening game?
I'm expecting a quick start from both teams. You know, they've had the week to prepare and, to be honest, to get excited about it, so I'm expecting a flying start. The old school football fan in me is delighted to see every player singing the words to their national anthem as well.
Absolutely, and a good chance for Scotland as well, Kenny, hosting this event here at Oriam. Just looking at the boys, they seem certainly relaxed, but I know for a fact they'll want to get out there and impress their home crowd, won't they?
Well, they will. I think the parents and assorted agents around us look far more nervous than the players themselves, so that bodes well.
And certainly some footballing, I'm not sure royalty is quite the right word, but some well-known faces in football just in front of us. We can see former Scotland international Stephen Presley's there, head of youth development at Celtic Chris McCart, Michael O'Neill, the Northern Ireland A squad manager as well. So just a little bit of added pressure for these boys, eh?
Kenny Miller, the Rangers striker, Scott Gemmell, under 21 manager. Interesting to see Stephen Presley here watching his pride and joy son Aaron, who's on the bench today but a highly rated young striker.
Absolutely. Now the boys are just going about their pre-match routine, final handshake, some good luck wishes. The Northern Ireland team to our right in their usual home strip, just going for a pre-match huddle. Some final thoughts from them. Scotland taking a more relaxed approach. And Kenny, I'm looking at the size of this surface as well. It's certainly a big pitch, and you would imagine the boys will want to get the ball down and use the space that they have here.
I don't think it's one that me or you would relish running about on, but I'm sure these boys will be able to handle themselves. I'm looking forward to gauging the progress, because I think there's only 2 boys in the entire squad that aren't involved in either the SFA's performance school system or the similar Celtic setup at St Ninians. So both those projects have been up and running for a while now, so it'll be interesting to see how they've come on.
We're about to get underway. Scotland's Mark Leonard is the man over the ball. Final check of the watch from referee David Monroe. Whistle to the mouth, and off we go. Leonard just plays it straight back. Scotland going to go long diagonal over to the left hand side. Cut out over to the right hand side. Northern Ireland have it, just keen to keep possession at the moment, working the way back to the goalkeeper Tiernan Parker. Comfortable from him, nice to see that. Plays it out from the back, short to Barney McEwen. Plays it forward, nice layoff as well. Here comes the captain Conor Farley driving forward. Infield to Callum Ferris. Loses possession. We can see Kenny already. Interesting to see the boys from Northern Ireland especially keen to play it out from the back and not wanting just to launch the ball up the field.
Certainly started on the front foot, and you could see Callum Ferris finding just pockets of space in the midfield. Billy Gilmore trying to do the same for Scotland.
Yeah, nice bit of footwork there as well. Just looks to dink the ball in. There goes Chris Hamilton down the right hand side. The ball is cut out though. Scotland skipper battling hard for it, trying to keep it alive down in that bottom corner. Well done. Out comes the ball back to Billy Gilmore. You can see the water just skipping up off this surface. It's been freshly watered, Kenny, just to make sure it's got that zip, and allows for some quick passing here this afternoon.
Hibs and Hearts both play their development games here, and I know both sets of squads are happy with the surface, so no complaints about the pitch. That will be an excuse today. Northern
Ireland just deciding to clear their lines there. Ethan Warnock, no hesitation, puts the ball out for a throw-in on this near side. There's going to be the Scotland captain Chris Hamilton to take it. You suspect he'll be on throw-in duties down this side. There's Gilmore again, nice touch from him, takes it into the corner. Can he deliver? Yes he can. Straight into the grateful grasp of Tiernan Parker. We don't want to build it up too early, only 90 minutes on the clock, but already Gilmore at least looking sharp for Scotland, Kenny.
I think everyone's going to get bored of me talking about him through the week, but he really is one to watch. I love the way he plays. He always shows for the ball, and I think equally encouraging early on is Chris Hamilton's runs from right back. He's no slouch at getting forward to support. You've never been accused of being boring, I'm sure. That was long from Taylor Wilson, cut out by the Northern Ireland backline. Wilson has it back, thinks about playing it back to his goalkeeper Ryan Mullen, then decides against it. He's just going to dink it into that midfield up towards Leonard, brings it down well left footed into the centre circle. It's a good attack this by Scotland. The through ball was ambitious, and it just runs through in the end to Tiernan Parker, but the right idea from the Scots. Another good run from Jamie Semple on the left, another who's highly regarded, and there's been a lot of talk about at Motherwell. And you could just see the overlapping run there on the left hand side, just couldn't quite get it, but good signs from the Scots early on, trying to press home their home advantage. Tiernan Parker in the Northern Ireland goal has it at the moment, just assessing his options. Up it goes long, Chris Hamilton's underneath it, fairly unchallenged, wins the header. There's Tyler Wilson again. He's had plenty of the ball, the Scotland centre back so far. Very relaxed approach from the Scots, happy just to play the ball out at the back. Dean Campbell on this occasion just dropping deep to get it, and there is Gilmore again. That Rangers man likes to pick up a bit of space. He's driving out to this right hand side. Hamilton left footed into Leonard. Scotland again looking to exercise that long diagonal. Lovely touch from Gilmore. He's just about going to keep it in the number 10. Lovely step over as well. Happy to just hold off. There he is. Look at that footwork. Great balance. Always a good sign when your footwork sends your opposing man tumbling to the ground. You've seen me on the dance floor, Gordon. No comment on that one. We'll hopefully keep away from your dancing as this week goes on. Anthony McDonald driving forward now. Is that a wee tug on the jersey? Manages to keep his footing. McDonald turns back. Again back into Taylor Wilson, the centre back. It's nice to see the Scottish players so patient in possession, not trying to force it. Billy Gilmore again this time, going for a more central role, drops in, but that's well tackled there by Ethan Galbraith. Wins the ball back with Scotland on the attack at the moment. Cracking shot, great save, Tiernan Parker still alive. Parker again, lively to it. Excellent attack there from Scotland. Jamie Semple with the shot, but you have to say credit to goalkeeper Tiernan Parker. Great reflexes from Tiernan Parker, not just for the first effort but the follow up as well. Semple unlucky, kept it down.
So 3-4 minutes on the clock, still Scotland 0, Northern Ireland 0 here at Oriam. Encouraging signs from the Scots so far, and we have our first corner of the afternoon. Rangers man Billy Gilmore across to take it in swinging right foot. It's a lovely ball over the head of the goalkeeper, well headed away, Ethan Galbraith. Good to see that man Gilmore's got a good delivery in his locker as well.
Listen, we're going to get accused of favouritism even this early on in the week, but he really has been central to everything Scotland have done so far.
Lewis Binks the man this time, who just picks up the ball, rolls it back to the goalkeeper again comfortably, just passed out from the back, Ryan Mullen. Chris Wilson again just going short into feet this time, worked out to the right hand side. Hamilton again, that man with the captain's armband, lovely passing move. Leonard dropping deep. Anthony McDonald just rolls his foot over the top of the ball. And already you can see, Kenny, the Scots very comfortable in possession. It was Northern Ireland who had that first attack of the game, but since then Scotland quite content to knock the ball about, be patient and wait for those openings when they come. Maybe
that's one of the benefits of the performance school system, all these extra sessions with the ball. I'm sure you would have liked to have skipped a couple of subjects in school in favour of more football.
Absolutely. Ball goes out for a throw in on this near side. It's going to go the way of the visitors, much to the dismay of Anthony McDonald on this near side. The Scots keeping a good shape as well, just switching on early, not letting Northern Ireland out there. Well, it's a long ball down the left hand side. Ethan Warnock, Chris Wilson just about missing that one, cleared though. Gilmore's going to get on that one, makes his way into the Northern Ireland half. A tug of the jersey, referee lets it go. Gilmore not impressed with that one. Driving forward then Barney McEwen, great tackle, Chris Hamilton on this near side. Some great hunger from the Scots there to win the ball back. Here we go on the attack down the left hand side. Down goes Jamie Semple. Play on, says the referee. Advantage, no real advantage for Scotland there, Kenny, and a good bit of defending in the end by the Northern Irish side.
I think already from a Scotland point of view, Chris Hamilton's caught the eye. He looks well rounded, whether it's defensively or breaking forward. He's taking responsibility. He's
the man with the captain's armband on. You can perhaps see why. He's no stranger to a tackle. Certainly looks determined enough in trying to lead by example.
Well, they breed them big and physical around these parts at Hearts, and certainly he looks cut from that mould.
Absolutely, that's a harmless ball. Going to go all the way through to Ryan Mullen, Celtic goalkeeper. Did play in the Victory Shield last year. Good bit of European experience as well, turning out for Celtic in the UEFA Under-19 competitions as well. Here comes Leonard, he's just dropping deep onto that halfway line, going to float a lovely ball over the top which Hamilton can chase. He's not quite going to get there though. He's certainly not going to give up, that's for sure.
You mentioned the youth league exposure some of these Celtic players have had, and it's a fantastic level of competition. Having seen Celtic against Man City and Borussia Mönchengladbach, it can only be of benefit to them.
And already encouraging signs as well. We look at Mark Leonard, Kenny, he's sort of playing centrally but really happy to just drop deep and link up the play, comfortable on the ball as well. And here he is again, he's going to try and deliver that one. Semple can't quite reach it, going to go out to the far side. Jake Corbett with the chance to break forward for Northern Ireland. Semple's going to chase him hard though, good running from the Motherwell youngster. Both sides favouring the early diagonal, that's a good one. Northern Ireland just can't quite get on the end of it. Conor Farrelly, the Northern Irish captain. And the ball drifts out for a throw into Scotland on this near side. So 7.5 minutes gone, still goalless here at Oriam. Scotland 0, Northern Ireland 0. And remember, we've got an action-packed week of football coming up. So 5 PM today, Wales against Republic of Ireland. I'm sure that's not to be missed. But we are hopeful that this first game can get us off to an exciting start. Here goes Farrelly again, just brings it down in the chest, works it infield. Ethan Galbraith just battling hard there with Harry Cochrane. Nice play from Galbraith as well, and fair to say, Kenny, both sides very comfortable on the ball, happy to take it in tight areas, happy with a man snapping at their heels, and very, very confident in possession.
Great to see. Neither team's going for the direct, obvious option. They're both happy to play it out from the back and take their time.
Parker again, just working the short one with Barney McEwen at the back. He's going to go long, and that is going to drift through to his opposite number, Ryan Mullen. He does opt to go long this time.
Commentator's curse.
And the offside flag is up against Mark Leonard. Clearly though a clear game plan from the Scots, Kenny, that they are comfortable knocking it about at the back, but if it has to go long, they have to go direct, then they're comfortable enough to mix it and do that as well.
I just like that Mark Leonard stood in front of a quick free kick. It's nice that even at this age they're learning the dark arts.
Yeah, they're streetwise, these kids. Well done, brings it down in the chest. Chris Hamilton works it inside to Gilmore, dances his way across the centre circle, flicks it with the outside of his right boot out to the far side. Another good passage of play from the Scots. It just breaks down with the final pass. Jamie Walker can't keep it in, and it's out for a throw-in. Well, that's a loose pass there from the Northern Irish goalkeeper. Anthony McDonald has it. He's driving towards the 18-yard box, left-footed, tries to backheel to Gilmore. Gilmore just trying to wriggle free, can't quite get the pass away. In the end, it's going to come to the head of Hamilton. Knocked in. Hamilton's got it again on this right-hand side. Can he keep it in? He's got two men for company. Dances past the first one. The second one gets there. Ball just spins up into the air, back towards the centre of that 18-yard box. Cleared away for the moment. Great tackle as well there from Harry Cochrane. A clear aim of the Scotland team, Kenny's clearly to work their way down this right hand side. You know that the captain Chris Hamilton is a very keen runner, going to be in those corners all afternoon, and you can see why the central midfielders are happy just to dink it into that pocket and let them try and get onto the ball.
Yeah, you can see the game plan clearly on and off the ball to focus down the right hand side, and certainly when they're out of possession they're hunting in packs.
Good pressure that time from Dean Campbell. The ball is going to be cleared up the line by Northern Ireland. Lovely turn from Farley, gets away from two men, hacked down in the end by Anthony McDonald. Not too many complaints from the Scotland players on that one. Free kick to Northern Ireland on the halfway line, just down on this near side.
Great close control from Farley there. Nice turn and burst.
And just looking at the set piece game plan from Northern Ireland, not really sending the big men, so to speak, up. They're happy just to play it down the line. It doesn't quite work out on this occasion. Farley again looking to work that trickery down the left hand side. Indeed he does. Cruyff turn back the way. That's well cut out in the end by Dean Campbell. It goes long. Leonard's chasing. He just can't quite get there. And again, you're seeing, we spoke about the size of this surface before the game, Kenny. You certainly can make it work if you work the football, but when the ball goes long, there's a lot of running for these guys. I'm sure that'll be no problem for them.
Especially for Leonard when he's the focal point up front. He is covering every blade of that plastic grass.
Just past the 11-minute mark. Still Scotland 0, Northern Ireland 0. If we can get an early goal to get us off and running in this week of 2016 Victory Shield action. Lovely control from Leonard into Gilmore. Down he goes. On the receiving end of a fairly hefty challenge there. Referee says free kick. And Scotland are adopting to send the centre backs up, Kenny, so I'm wondering if this is a sign of things to come, perhaps direct approach from set pieces.
Well, certainly they're not exactly midgets at the back for Scotland. Say Lewis Binks from Tottenham, one of two that isn't in the performance school system. He's clearly a target here.
Billy Gilmore again with that right-footed delivery, two-man wall. Here he comes, Billy Gilmore, whips it in with that right boot. It's out towards the back post, cleared away to the edge of the box. Northern Ireland do get it comfortably here, and a bit of a chance to go on the counter-attack here. Worked out to this left-hand side. Ethan Galbraith, right-footed, just well cut out in the end by Dean Campbell. Jordan McAnuff is going to keep it in, and that's lovely from him. Dances his way towards the 18-yard box. Down he goes. Free kick, says the referee. Not sure the Scotland players agree with him, but again, Jordan McAnuff. The box for comfort.
I don't think Cochrane's got too much to complain about there.
So Scotland with the free kick chance 2 minutes ago up the other end, and now Northern Ireland with a similar chance to work a delivery into the box. And it is that man, Jordan McAnuff, who's going to deliver the ball into the penalty box, right-footed. Scotland with everyone bar Jamie Semple back for this one. Here comes the delivery, the left hand goes up, he whips it in with that right boot, and it's just flicked out for a corner in the end by Mark Leonard. And Kenny, has to be said, not too far away from putting it into his own net.
Leonard's got the look of a man that says he was in control of the ball the entire time, but certainly Ryan Mullen was flat-footed and grounded, so an inch to the left, and that was 1-0 Northern Ireland.
Well, there was a few gasps as that one drifted wide of the far post, so it is going to be a corner. And clearly that man, Jordan McAnuff, on set-piece duty, makes his way over to the far side now. Right-footed out, swinging this time. The Northern Ireland players just lined up on the edge of the box, looking to get a run on their marker and try and get an effort towards goal, which we haven't had too many of in these early stages. Here comes the delivery, right-footed, he's up, great header down by Sam McClelland. In the end, fairly harmless, but a decent leap and header from the Northern Ireland centre-back.
It was a good leap from McClelland, but a free header, really could have done better. Could at least have worked Mullen, who, has to be said, hasn't had too much to do so far.
Yeah, Ryan Mullen hasn't really been called into action yet. He was grateful to see that one drift harmlessly wide, although it was a good leap by Sam McClelland. Scotland fallen ever so slightly out of things in the last minute or two, so just trying to regain the early grasp they had in this game. Wilson happy just to turn 360 and go back to his goalkeeper. Played out the other side towards Lewis Binks. Binks coming forward into the midfield. Dean Campbell, plenty of space to turn on it. Thinks about the early pass. Opts to drive forward. Plays it in. Good tackle there though. Ball breaks back to him. He's got a second bite at the cherries inside the centre circle now. Thinks about that diagonal over the top. But here goes Anthony McDonald driving forward, already showing he's very happy to take a run at these Northern Ireland players. It's a loose pass there from Scotland on the far side. McDonald does just about win it back. It's going to go all the way back through with 15 minutes approaching on the clock. Still goalless, Kenny. That I'm sure the Scotland management team will be keen to try and get them to press home that advantage. They showed good signs early on, but they won't want to let Northern Ireland back into this game.
They won't, but I think they'll preach patience at the same time. They've obviously got a game plan. There's no need to force it. I do like the look of Dean Campbell in the centre of midfield. He's dropping deep to take the ball off his centre backs. No frills, keeps it simple. And, he's doing a lot of unselfish work in the middle.
Jamie Walker with a throw in on the far side, finds Gilmore but gets it back. Here's Gilmore again. Just plays it across his own 18-yard box to Taylor Wilson. Wilson this time going to drive forward. He's got plenty of space to run into. Finds Leonard just on the halfway line. Leonard works it out to Hamilton on this side. Hamilton again happy to try and run, and he's got there in the end. He's nearly at the byline, just going to swing that delivery in. Well cleared again, edge of the box. Leonard, great tackle there, just robs the Scotland man have a chance of a shot at goal. And again we've seen Northern Ireland break, but again a wonderful tackle from Scotland, and it's over the top. Leonard's in, but the offside flag is up, and a good period of possession for Scotland.
It was an important intervention from Sam McClellan at the back there for Northern Ireland. A couple of well-timed blocks.
So the man Mark Leonard, who was the victim of the offside call there, I'm sure he will be keen to get another sight at goal as soon as possible. But here comes Northern Ireland for the moment, dinked up only as far as Scotland captain Chris Hamilton into the centre circle, but Hamilton gets it back, has a look up, plays it into the feet. Scotland slowly but surely making their way into the Northern Ireland half. Hamilton gets it back. As Kenny touched on, the key word for the Scots so far, patience, not forcing the play at all. Happy when needed to go back to Ryan Mullen in the Scotland goal. And Taylor Wilson again, he's going to drive forward. Scotland got plenty of joy out of his last 40 into the opposition half. Goes long this time though. Tiernan Parker happy to take it and just bowl it out straight away to Jack Conlon. And this time it's Conlon who's going to go left-footed over the top. Conor Farley's got a bit of a chance to make his way into the opposition half here. Great attempt at goal, blocked in the end by the Scotland backline. And that was perhaps Northern Ireland's best chance of the game.
Great covering defensive play from Jamie Walker there. It's obviously a ball in behind the right back that Northern Ireland have looked to play a couple of times now. Obviously we've seen Chris Hamilton push forward a few times. It is leaving a wee gap at the back.
So a bit of a let off for Scotland there with 17 minutes gone. Still goalless here at Oriam. Mullen fakes to go one way and then the other. Back they come. Gilmore again dropping deep. Plays it right footed. Scotland with the chance to build the attack now. Just moving forward goes Harry Cochrane. Works the way across to Leonard. Into the feet now Anthony McDonald. Slips it down the line. There's Hamilton. Wonderful run from him again. Again he wins a corner. Going wise, keen to get forward at every opportunity.
Good vision and good way to pass from McDonald as well. What I like about Scotland breaking forward is they're all interchanging, they're all flexible, they obviously know each other's game. It's a pretty fluid system.
There's Jamie Semple there in the middle, hoping he can get in the end of this delivery from Gilmore on the right side. He thinks about playing this one short, and indeed does, gets it back. Just steps over the ball, Gilmore, back it comes. Anthony McDonald this time, Gilmore still with him. Not a great deal on for the Scots, forced to come all the way back. Dean Campbell just fires it into the box, and it's going to be put into his own net, is it? And indeed it is. Scotland go a goal to the good. Taylor Wilson was the man certainly who's celebrating. Looked like he got the final touch. And with 18 minutes on the clock, it's Scotland 1, Northern Ireland 0.
Just talked about Dean Campbell dropping deep and playing the simple ball, but that one was all about his delivery into the box.
Just floats it in there with the left boot, and in the end it is poked beyond Tiernan Parker to give the Scots a 1-0 lead after 19 minutes. And I suppose, Kenny, on the balance of play, just about deserved.
think given how little Ryan Mullins had to do so far, I think, yeah, you can definitely say it's well deserved. Scotland have been in the front foot more often than not, all about keeping it tight now.
And that's exactly what the captain Hamilton tries to do as Gilmore gets it. Takes a look up, just plays it into Leonard, lays it off first time. Lovely footwork there from Harry Cochrane, steps over the ball and allows him to come out the other side. Can't quite get the pass right though. And Ryan Mullins going to have to mop up.
And he did so well, he's quick off his line.
Foul there in the centre circle. But that opening goal, Kenny, I know we spoke about patience, but at any level of football it's great to get your noses in front early on and give your team something to build on.
Listen, for all they've been patient, it was nice to see them not force it, but just take matters into their own hands. As I said, Dean Campbell bursting forward and he saw the run. His composed finish as well.
We spoke about the big crowd in here at Oriam as well, and perhaps home fan expectation, so perhaps a nice early goal settles the nerves, allows these boys to go and enjoy it even more than they have been.
Mentioned it earlier, but I think looking around you can see how anxious parents and agents are. It's a big deal for them. The boys look composed.
Wilson again on it, just happy to walk forward and then go back to the goalkeeper. Dink down the line by Mullen. Leonard flicks it on, but there's no one really there to pick up the second ball. McDonald chasing hard to try and put off the Northern Ireland goalkeeper, but he does well. Floats it out to that far side, headed on by Callum Ferris. Powerful header to say the least from Sam McClellan, but Semple has it, turns away from his man. Here's Jamie Semple driving down that left hand side. Can he get a cross in? He tries. And unfortunately for him, the ball goes out for a goal kick. Harry Cochrane, the man down for Scotland at the moment, on the receiving end of a hefty challenge, shall we call it, from Sam McClelland.
He certainly put himself about Cochrane, so I don't think he'll have any complaints.
He's having a word with the referee. Referee's not having any of it. And he goes again. Tiernan Parker just urging his defenders to get out this time. Certainly more content to go long on this occasion, not wanting to play the ball out. Long it goes, up towards the halfway line. Semple coming back for Scotland, wins the header well. And again Cochrane flicks it on. Hamilton just tries to play it inside, doesn't quite get enough on the pass. Allows Northern Ireland to come forward. Back it goes, nice footwork again there from Northern Ireland, this time bursting in to the opposition half. Barney McEwen on the ball, right footed out to this near hand side. Good pressing by the Scots though, Kenny, forcing Northern Ireland all the way back. Referee is going to give a foul on that occasion, but you can see Scotland quite keen to press the ball high up when the time is right.
And Cochrane again, it's a cheap foul in the end, but he covered some ground there to make it up.
Having a bit of a word with the coaching team as well.
I think we talked about Leonard's link-up play for Scotland, but Conor Farley's done the same for Northern Ireland. Happy to drop deep, keep the ball in play. He's just not had much chance in front of goal.
Chance here for Northern Ireland to get the ball into the Scotland half and perhaps take a bit of the pressure off. Left-footed it goes down the line. Headed clear by Hamilton. Gilmore can't quite get there. Callum Ferris, the man who turns this time, gives it away, and that's a crunching tackle. Ferris smashing his way into Chris Hamilton, but both players getting up and getting on with it. That's what we like to see. Hamilton again right-footed. Leonard's underneath it, can't quite win it. Flicked on. The offside flag is up on the far side. Robbed Chris Hamilton of a nice bit of skill there, Kenny. He's flicked it up over the defender's head. I'm sure he would have been quite happy to play on and take the plaudits for that one.
Listen, he's looked every inch the all-rounder so far. There's been a lot to like about his game.
Has indeed.
You can see why he's so highly rated within Hearts.
Yep, the 15-year-old playing on familiar turf here on the outskirts of Edinburgh. Here comes Semple, trying to work it onto that right foot of his. Loses it in the end. Out comes Ethan Gilbraith for Northern Ireland. Down the line goes Ben Wilson, scampering down towards that corner. Excellent covering tackle of Taylor Wilson. And Northern Ireland have another corner. And from a Scotland point of view, Kenny, they'll hope to defend this one a bit better than they did the last one.
Yeah, I think we said earlier on, the Scotland players do seem to have a streetwise streak in them. It's maybe no surprise. I think 5 of them have actually played at under 17 level, so you can see that education in them.
Goalkeeper Ryan Mullen just doing his share of organising. All the Scotland players back in this occasion. They chose to leave one man up previously, but not anymore. Clearly wanting extra defensive reinforcements. Just a bit of a delay as Jordan McAnuff waits to take this corner kick. In it comes, right-footed in, swinging again. It's deep this time. Bit of pushing in the box. Referee sees it and gives a free kick to Scotland.
McClellan's the one again to watch for Northern Ireland at set pieces. Hamilton had him tracked all the way.
Just a bit of a lull in play for a bit of a lace tying. Here comes Scotland again, just cautiously making their way towards the halfway line. Leonard's calling for it. He's not needed. Out it goes to this near side. Anthony McDonald just can't quite get there, can't keep it in. And we're seeing one thing's for sure, Kenny, with the pitch being watered heavily before the game, you have to take that into account. It does zip up off the surface. We've seen a few times diagonals just not quite reaching their intended target.
Yeah, I don't think there was too much wrong with the weight of pass there. It just skidded off the surface.
Good interception there by Lewis Binks. Set Scotland on the attack again. Gilmore works it into Cochrane. Out to McDonald, left-footed, and again. There's Leonard, he's got Semple looking for the ball in behind, but he turns back onto his right foot. Nice piece of skill. First time Cochrane works the 1-2 with Leonard. Is he going to get there? No, he's not. And out for a goal kick to Northern Ireland, but nice one-touch play from Scotland, trying to work their way down that right-hand side once again.
You don't want to overhype any of these boys because they're all very young and a lot can happen, but the potential is screaming out of Billy Gilmore. Every time he takes the ball, he's so quick to turn, look up for the early pass.
Yeah, I suspect that's perhaps not the last time you're going to see that before the week's out.
Accuse me of having repetitive patter.
Not at all, not at all. I'll let you away with it. A few more times if you're lucky. Tiernan Parker again, just going to go long this time. He was happy to play it out from the back early on, but goes long into Cochrane. Cochrane turns, can't quite get his pass away. As you can see, he's chasing down, snapping at the heels there of Ethan Galbraith. Harry Cochrane, safe to say, Kenny, he's put himself about, as they say, so far.
He certainly has, all over the pitch, whether it's left back, right back, centre mid, and he's certainly giving Ethan Galbraith no rest.
Gilmore again dropping very deep, almost taking the ball off the back foot, allowing Wilson to come forward. Just about gets there, but loses his footing. Luckily for him, Leonard's there to mop up. There's the skipper Hamilton into the feet of Gilmore. Just turns with the outside of the right boot, finds Semple. Semple gives him it back. And this time good defending by Northern Ireland. Long ball clear. And Ryan Mullen again happy just to accept the ball. Northern Ireland perhaps getting a little bit hemmed in at the moment.
Yeah, we know that Celtic like a sweeper keeper. You can see that Mullen's obviously worked hard at that side of his game. Always comfortable to take the ball on either foot. Hope that doesn't come back to haunt me.
Well, he's certainly comfortably on the ball at the moment, is Ryan Mullen. Gives it out to Lewis Binks. Binks is going to go left-footed, diagonal across to this near side. It's not quite going to reach Hamilton, but Leonard's there, dropping deep once again. Finds Dean Campbell, who in turn finds Cochrane. Cochrane just looking to float it in behind. Gilmore can't reach it. Here comes Leonard, though, brings it down in his chest, driving forward, tries to dink the ball through to Semple. Once again, the attack breaks down, but promising signs again for Scotland. Here comes Cochrane, out to the near side. Hamilton, first time down the line. Gilmore's there. He's got a bit of time as well. Looks up, great sliding tackle in the end, says the referee. Ball goes out for a corner. And I think Gilmore was hoping for a free kick.
I think he maybe saw that one coming, tried to ride the tackle. I think Leonard's another one we've maybe not talked about enough. As well as leading the line, he's kept possession so well when he's dropped deeper. Good variety to his game.
He has indeed, Leonard, wearing the number 8 jersey. He keeps dropping deep, picking up that ball, happy to turn, link up with his teammates. He's played a part in winning this corner, which Gilmore is going to deliver. It's out towards the back post, headed back across, the goalkeeper's up. And in the end, cleared away, but nervy moments again for the Northern Ireland backline.
Yep, certainly all the pressure with Scotland just now.
Throw into Northern Ireland, goes back into their own half, just trying to assess their options and keep possession. I'm sure the coaching staff not happy to be giving the ball away as often as they have. There goes McAneff again. Certainly has shown he's got some neat footwork early on in this match. Good attack this from Northern Ireland down the right hand side. Farrelly's got a chance to cross the ball, lifts his head, floats it back towards the edge of the box. Gilmore's there. It drops down, volleyed straight into the hands of Ryan Mullen, but decent effort to say the least from McAneff.
It was, he did well to keep it down, but it's not going to trouble Mullen. Not at that kind of height. Jake Corbett's getting a wee bit of joy at right back for Northern Ireland, bursting forward. I think he's maybe been their standout player so far.
Here comes Binks again, this time going out to the left hand side. Most of Scotland's play has come down the right, but on this occasion they go out to the left. It is out for a throw in. There's Jamie Semple just fixing the socks. He's done a lot of running so far, just perhaps hasn't quite been on the receiving end of that killer pass from his teammates.
No, but if he keeps getting in that position, you think the way Gilmore and Cochrane have started, they will find him with one of these through balls.
There's Gilmore again, lovely first touch, brings the ball down. He's just making his way across the middle, turns back in, nice footwork as well, driving forward into Leonard. Back into Cochrane. Cochrane goes right-footed towards this near side. As always, there's the skipper, Hamilton. Just forced to come back ever so slightly, Scotland. Good defensive play from Northern Ireland at the moment, keeping their structure well. Scotland attack breaking down. There goes McEwen. It's out to the near side to Ferris. Confident play from Ferris, just dinks it towards his own backline. Sam McClelland happy to come forward. He's going to look for the ball over the top. Scotland defence scrambling to get back there. Hamilton goes up, sliding tackle. Is that a handball? No, says the referee. There goes Ethan Warnock down the left hand side. Sliding tackle there from Chris Hamilton. And that one clearly appreciated by the fans inside Oriam here this afternoon.
Everyone loves a good slide tackle in Scotland. Hamilton certainly doesn't hold back.
Northern Ireland still with it though. Semple just doing his best to close the ball down. Corbett again with that right foot, he's down the right hand side. It's going to go all the way across. No harm at all for Scotland. And that allows Anthony McDonald to clear.
Oh, Mullen hesitant that time with the ball.
Northern Ireland, great chance for them, driving across, well blocked in the end by Taylor Wilson. We were praising how comfortable Ryan Mullen's been with the ball at his feet, and perhaps just a slight lapse in concentration on that occasion.
It's always going to happen after we praised him for it. I think we'll give him that one.
I think he'll give you the blame then, if that's quite alright. Scotland again with everyone back pretty much inside the 18-yard box. McAneff with the delivery, right-footed again. And again it's McClelland with the header, and again it goes wide. Ball sprayed out to this near side. Northern Ireland players claiming for a handball off Taylor Wilson. Referee's not interested. Leonard brings it down in his chest. Finds his captain Hamilton. Leonard again with it. Close control on this near touch line. We just managed to take a look at that Scotland goal there, and Kenny seeing it back again reaffirmed your belief. Lovely delivery, good back post run, and in the end a good sliding finish.
That was what I didn't appreciate the first time round, was just how good that run was at the back post from Taylor Wilson. Good poked finish.
The goal scorer working this attack as well, and it is played forward. There's McDonald, he's through on goal, left footed, good save. Tiernan Parker. Billy Gilmore, the architect that time. It's a decent run and finish. You have to say the goalkeeper got down well. Perhaps if you're being overcritical, a bit too close to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, you know what the target to aim at, but I think we'll cut him some slack. Great through ball, but I better stop talking about Billy Gilmore. You can talk him up if you want. I'm boring myself now.
32 minutes on the clock. Still Scotland 1, Northern Ireland 0, courtesy of that Taylor Wilson goal. And Scotland perhaps with a decent chance to try and work the goalkeeper once again. A free kick out on this near side. Harry Cochrane this time going to deliver it. He's been told to take the ball back to the rightful place. So Gilmore keen to take most of the set pieces so far. He's happy to leave this one to Cochrane. Also right footed, out swing, and it's a great delivery, flashes right across goal. And you have to say Mark Leonard not too far away from getting ahead on that one.
Cochrane's unlucky there's no takers on that. Great delivery.
I'm sure he'll be pointing that out to his teammates as the ball drifts harmlessly out for a Northern Ireland throw in the end, but a good delivery from Scotland as they look to try and double their advantage here this afternoon.
Scotland may be giving away a few inches to the Northern Irish, but it hasn't stopped them in set plays.
There's Gilmore again, just cuts back. Worked into Cochrane. He's got his head up, he's looking for a pass back to Leonard. There's Gilmore, driving towards goal, takes it on the left foot, blocked in the end by McClelland. Semple's got a chance to run in. McClelland at the second time of asking, hooks the ball away. But again, it's Scotland doing most of the attacking as Northern Ireland do come away on this occasion. Played back to McClelland. Northern Ireland just trying to come forward. It's going to go long again, left footed. Wilson's up, but he doesn't quite win it on this occasion. Flicked inside to McAneff. He keeps the ball flowing out to that right hand side. Jake Corbett. Oh, but that's loose from the Northern Ireland man, and it only finds the feet of Gilmore. He works it across to Cochrane. Cochrane cuts back inside. Leonard closed down. Has to be said, good tackling that from Jake Conlon. He's also given it away, and Kenny, if you're being critical of this Northern Ireland team, I'm sure at half time the message to them will be they must stop giving the ball back to Scotland so easily.
Yeah, they've looked, of the two teams, they've looked slightly more anxious when in possession. That'll definitely be the message at half time. Just take your time, don't try and force it.
Hamilton's up. Inside to Wilson. And there goes Callum Ferris, who's bursting into the 18-yard box. Good chance this, but he decides to take it on his right foot, fires it wide. And you can just sense the message from the bench there would have been, why not have a go on your left?
Yep.
So as you saw there, Ferris, good position down the left-hand side of the box. The goal opening up for him. Might have opted to just play it across the goal, Kenny, or even taken on the shot with the left foot. In the end, he goes with the right, and it's well wide of Ryan Mullen's goal.
I think we've highlighted already the one area of concern for Scotland is maybe the space between the right back and the centre back on this side for Scotland.
Yeah, it has to be said, Hamilton's performed very well so far, but perhaps just tactically there's a bit of a gap in behind him that Northern Ireland are looking to exploit. In goes Hamilton again. Ben Wilson has to settle for a throw-in on the near side.
I think that's the trade-off, isn't it? If someone like Hamilton's going to break forward as often as he does, you're going to leave gaps at the back.
Modern fullback, is that what they say? That's the way it is these days. Throw in from Northern Ireland, just about cleared by Scotland. Semple takes no chances, he's just going to hook it over the top. There's a bit of a chance for Leonard to run in behind here if he can get there. Well played in the end by Jack Conlon across to McClelland. Leonard almost had the whole half to run into there, but he couldn't get past the Northern Ireland stopper.
Conlon read that well.
Just used his body, managed to block off the run of the Scotland man, but here comes Corbett down the right hand side for Ireland. He's working his way to the byline. Has he overrun it? Good sliding tackle from Scotland. Dean Campbell it was with the block. Assistant referee on the far side says corner.
Taylor two right backs so far. Corbett again.
And already you can see a change in the defensive shape from these set pieces. Kenny, first of all, they were leaving someone up the field, but now quite keen to get everyone back and maximise their chances of getting the ball clear, because McClelland's had one or two free headers already.
Scotland now get two bodies blocking McClelland's run.
Well, here he goes for a third time, but it's well cleared at the near post. Thinks about the shot, works his way back across. Excellent play that from Ethan Galbraith. There's Ferris again on that left foot this time. Cochrane's just going to let it come across his body, does ever so well.
Great from Cochrane. Real strength to turn like that.
There's Gilmore, he's got his head up. Leonard plays it back into Cochrane. Cochrane, the man who started the move, ends up losing possession. Gilmore thinks about chasing through to the goalkeeper, then decides better of it. McClelland this time striding forward. Centre backs on both sides happy to do so. Played into the feet of the attackers. Well won by Scotland's left back Jamie Walker. Finds Cochrane. Leonard lays it off. Down he goes. Referee has a look, but decides against it. Slipped through. Scotland goalkeeper Ryan Mullen is going to get there. Good awareness from him. And in the end takes the heat off his back four.
So quick off his line again, Mullen. I mean, that was a real opportunity there for Northern Ireland, but quickly snuffed out by the Celtic man.
I know it's been a subject of much debate at the top level recently, but it certainly is something that the goalkeepers these days very much expected to be almost on their, the penalty spot near the 18-yard line, and happy to sweep up that danger when they have to.
It's a divisive issue, but the game's only going one way now. Goalkeepers have to be comfortable with the ball at both feet. It's never been more important.
Corbett.
Thankfully for Ryan Mullen, he seems quite good in that department.
Corbett happy just to knock the ball back to Parker. Parker tries to give him it back in the end, out for a throw-in. I suppose that right there is the downside, if you want to call it that, or the risk you have to take, Kenny. If you want your keeper to play those diagonals, you perhaps have to accept that one or two are going to drift out on the far side.
Especially with the way Scotland are harassing in the final third, you're going to force mistakes like that.
There's Gilmore again, he finds Semple. All three of the Scotland attackers happy to drop deep and link up the play. Not sure that was intended for that recipient, but it got there in the end. There's Hamilton working his way into the 18-yard box, has a look up, he's going to just stand it up at the back post. Gilmore coming in, gets the header away, and in the end Northern Ireland clear, but yet again Scotland down the right hand side, and yet again getting a clear sighted goal when the ball comes in.
won't be many crosses aimed for the head of Billy Gilmore, but another good rampaging run down the right.
McDonald with the throw-in on this near side.
I'm labouring the point again, but Harry Cochrane has been all over the pitch.
He certainly has.
He's worked his backside off.
Shown a lot of energy so far, has Cochrane. And there he is again. I think he's listening to us, Kenny. At least someone is. Cochrane happy to just roll the studs over the ball. Lovely turn that as well. Left-footed shot from distance in the end. Drifts over from Anthony McDonald, but good to see that he's not scared to have a go from distance.
Listen, it was ambitious, but maybe that's the one thing Scotland haven't done so far. Mixed it up in front of goal. It's been a lot of precise play, but nice to see them let fly once in a while.
Another player playing on familiar turf. Anthony McDonald, the Hearts youngster. And I noticed Craig Levine, another man in attendance earlier on, so I'm sure the Jambo's youngsters keen to catch the eye of the former Scotland boss. And there goes the half-time whistle. Half-time. It is Scotland 1, Northern Ireland 0, courtesy of a Taylor Wilson goal. So Scotland 1, Northern Ireland 0 at the break there. Just had a look at some of the brief highlights from the first 45. Taylor Wilson with the decisive goal. Gordon Duncan here, joined by Kenny Miller of the Scottish Sun. Kenny, what have you made of that first 45? Sum up what we've seen from Scotland and indeed Northern Ireland so far.
Listen, I get accused all the time of cheerleading for up-and-coming Scottish players, but I think there's genuinely a lot to be optimistic about in this group. We've spoken about it a few times now. I love the way they've interchanged in the middle of the park, breaking into the final third. They're not shy about swapping positions and linking up. They all look comfortable on the ball. I genuinely think there's a lot to be optimistic about. Obviously, they're only one goal to the good. Northern Ireland have hung in there, but certainly plenty of positives from a Scotland point of view. Yeah, plenty of meaningful attacks from Scotland in that first 40 minutes, should I say. We're used to saying 45 in the first 40 minutes. And but in the end, it was Taylor Wilson, the man who got the goal, the centre back. He's done most of his work, certainly from a defensive point of view, as is expected, but
He was up there for the set piece, he hung around, he got a lovely ball over the top and did well with the sliding finish.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the two centre-backs because Scotland have been on the front foot for most of that first half, but what they have had to do, they've done well. More often than not, they've been comfortable in possession, and certainly Taylor Wilson finished like a striker there. He was quick off the mark, read the ball from Dean Campbell, and certainly a tidy finish. One he'll want to watch back.
And we're seeing Mark Leonard, Anthony McDonald, Jamie Semple, Billy Gilmore, Cochrane, every one of them, Kenny, keen to drop deep, not put off at all by coming very deep into their own half, picking up the ball, lifting their head, turning one way and then the other. And a word that we touched on many times in the first half, it has been all about patience from Scotland.
Yeah, that's what I like. Every single one of them's looked to take responsibility on the ball. No one's hiding out there. It's hard to hide on a pitch this big in front of 500 people, but they've all shown for it. And listen, I'm sure we're going to talk about him all week, but Billy Gilmore for me has been terrific in that first half, and he's not the only one. Cochrane's covered every blade. Semple's put in some shift on the left. There's not really been a failure in the Scotland team, but Billy Gilmore certainly catching the eye.
Now remember, we will be broadcasting all of the games live and for catch-up at youtube.com/Scotland national team. So Scotland against Northern Ireland at the moment. We've got Wales against Republic of Ireland coming up a little bit later on. And we're back here on Tuesday, the 1st of November. Republic of Ireland against Northern Ireland first up. On that occasion, Scotland against Wales. And then we finish off on Friday, Northern Ireland against Wales, and the host Scotland bringing a close to proceedings against the Republic of Ireland. But more importantly than listening to us, we want to hear what you've got to say about this year's Victory Shield. Why not use the hashtag Victory Shield on Twitter and tell us what you think? That's exactly what Declan Cooper's done. He says currently watching Scotland against Northern Ireland, some fantastic play from Scotland, and young Gilmore playing well. Another viewer says watching the Scotland v Northern Ireland Victory Shield game live on the YouTube channel, and I believe they call those the clapping hand emojis. A modern man like you, Kenny, will know exactly what that's all about. Is that
I think that's
thing?
in direct reference to our commentary. I like to think that's a real endorsement.
I am not entirely sure, but I will take your word for it. And look at Northern Ireland players just going about their warm-up, the substitutes at half-time. Scotland going for a slightly different approach. Players inside the dressing room. Hearing Brian McLaughlin's half-time team talk, and what will be the message then in both dressing rooms? First of all, Scotland, I dare say it will be a case of more of the same.
Absolutely. If you're watching from a Scotland point of view, you'd be delighted. You would think the scoreline leads into Scotland. The way they've set up, there's a lot of pace, there's a lot of precision breaking forward. Northern Ireland are going to have to be the ones that push forward, and that'll leave more gaps at the back for Scotland to exploit. I think, as you touched on earlier, the big frustration for Northern Ireland will be how scrappy they've been in possession, because they've certainly put in a shift. There's been no slacking from that point of view. There's been pockets of potential. I do like the right back, Jake Corbett. He always looks for the ball, and his delivery's been half decent as well. And certainly you think if they're going to get back into this game, a good bet is it to come via Sam McClelland at centre back, because he has been a menace from set pieces. You'll
see McClelland on 2 or 3 occasions coming up for corner kicks, getting his head on the ball. Hasn't quite managed to trouble Ryan Mullen, the goalkeeper there for Scotland. And I suppose it's a cliche at any level of football, Kenny, but a 1-0 lead, it's obviously, it's a bit of a precarious one at times, because Scotland either have to come out and go for another one, or risk the fact that Ireland do catch them with a sucker punch.
Yeah, it's always difficult in any tournament when you approach the first game. You don't know how to play it. You're desperate for a clean sheet, for a positive to build the rest of the week on. I think Scotland have gone about it exactly the right way. They've all been patient on the ball. Nothing's been rushed. Nothing's been too elaborate, it has to be said. A lot of the best bits of play have been really simple. Gilmore or Cochrane with the head up, looking to play in one of the 2 fullbacks. So no, I think once or twice sometimes there's been a gap on the right side of the defence. Northern Ireland have looked to exploit on the counter attack, but nothing beyond a bit of minor tinkering.
You can see a clear strategy from Scotland, can't we, that I'm sure is going to be replicated across the age groups. You've touched on it yourself, the vast majority of these boys in the SFA's Performance School programme, and you think stylistically what we're seeing, that's something that will be tried to be rolled out across all the age groups, where everyone's comfortable on the ball, everyone's happy to drop deep and take it in tight areas and lay it off when they have to.
Yeah, I don't think anything in the performance strategy was ever set in stone. It's something that's evolved over the years, but certainly when Mark Votta came in as performance director, he was followed up by Brian McClare. We're waiting to see who takes on the position next, but there's been a common theme. They've all wanted to play roughly this formation. They've wanted to play out from the back and be progressive about the game, and you can maybe start to see the fruits of the labour. It was always going to be a process that would take time to deliver. And as we've said, I think a couple of times now, there's only 2 of these boys, and they're based down south, that aren't involved in either the performance school system or the St Ninians version that Celtic have got, that's certainly paying off for them.
I mean, we're talking about tournament football and how difficult it can be to approach games in terms of, do you go all out for the win, are you happy to settle for a point, and so on. We know we've got some mouth-watering fixtures coming up across the rest of the week. Wales against Republic of Ireland later on today. We very much look forward to bringing you coverage of that at youtube.com/Scotland national team. But I don't think it's any secret, Kenny, getting your tournament off to a winning start, especially when you've got the home crowd behind you. That's a message I think that the Scotland management staff will be trying to relay to the players in there at half time.
I think it's something they can feed off. It can either be a positive or a negative. They could come out with nerves because they know the millions are watching us on YouTube. Well, there's the 500 inside Oriam, but there hasn't been any obvious nerves on display from a Scotland point of view. I just think the great thing about this tournament is how it can act as a real launch pad for careers. I remember being at Starks Park 3 years ago when a Calvin Miller goal was enough to beat England, and it's a bit of an upset on the night. That was the first time Scotland had won it outright in a long time, and you go through the team list that night, most of those boys are still playing at a good level in football, and that has to be the ambition. The 2 McCrorys at Rangers, Ross and Robbie, they were involved. Mark Hill, Calvin Miller at Celtic, Frank Ross, Aberdeen, Ali Coote at Dundee United, and the current crop will want to follow in their footsteps.
Kenny mentioned England there. In case you're wondering why we haven't mentioned England, well, they have withdrawn from the competition for the foreseeable future. They made that decision last year. They wanted their under-16 to have a more varied opposition, so England 35 times winners no longer with us. We're sure we're going to have an interesting tournament with the teams that are here this year. Scotland setting the tone so far, that 1-0 scoreline against Northern Ireland at the break. I'm just wondering, Kenny, I'm sure in terms of so far so good for Scotland, I can't foresee too many changes at the break. I think they'll certainly give these boys the first 10-15 minutes of the second half, albeit many of them have expelled quite a lot of energy, a lot of closing down, a lot of willing running in that first half.
I think that is a good point about how much some of them have put into it. I mean, Cochrane looks a bit like the Duracell bunny. He just has not stopped from that first whistle. Other types of battery are available, just in case I get pulled up on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you would expect changes maybe 10-15 minutes in, because some of them just will run out.
Yeah, absolutely. There has been a lot of running from Harry Cochrane, another Hearts player. Certainly giving the Hearts players a good write-up here this afternoon.
No wonder when you're wearing a nice maroon jumper that the listeners can't really, the viewers can't really appreciate.
The beauty of this is there is no need for my fashion sense to be
under scrutiny,
broadcast to the nation. Don't even get me started on yours. But yeah, Harry Cochrane of Hearts, let's touch on him a bit. He's certainly another one who's obviously been impressive here with his home club. He was out at the Foyle Cup earlier this year. That's the tournament held, hosted by Derry City every year. Hearts the winners this year. He's certainly been impressive form for his club side then, and he's brought that to the national setup. A player who's really shown a bit of dig and determination as well. I'm not saying giving away fouls is a good thing, but he's no stranger to getting right in the face of opponents. He's been snapping at their heels as well, and not giving anyone an inch.
Can't really say a bad word about Cochrane so far. I mean, the times he has given it away, he tends to win it straight back. He's got a good engine. He gets himself in good positions. Again, like the rest of the Scotland team, he's playing with his heads up, and he'll be delighted with the way he's playing. As I said, I don't think there's been a failure in that Scotland team so far.
Former Scotland striker still going strong with Rangers is Kenny Miller. We know he's heavily involved with the youth setup at Auchenhowie. He's down there. He's talking to Celtic's Willie McStay, and I'm sure I'll give you one more chance to talk him up at half time, but I'm sure Kenny Miller have been impressed by Billy Gilmore, who'll be taking good reports back to Mark Warburton perhaps, and the rest of the Rangers youth setup, as well as what he's seen so far from his man this afternoon.
If you ever watch one of these youth games, you love to spot a bit of potential in an up-and-coming talent that maybe people don't know too much about. I'm not sure in Billy Gilmore's case that he is a well-kept secret. Every agent, coach, player you speak to at this level has known all about him for some time. The Rangers really do have a diamond on their hands if they can look after him properly, and he keeps developing.
We've got 500 miles going over the tannoy here. I hope you're not too tempted to get up and give us a dance. The crowd look fairly happy just to sit in their seats. It's not a raucous atmosphere at the moment. Are we going to get bits and pieces in a minute? Is that what we're expecting when Scotland score? Is that the way forward now? Or is that experiment been put in?
I'm not sure about the dance remix of 500 miles. Sadly, our influence doesn't extend that far.
It does not indeed. So Brian McLaughlin is the Scotland head coach, of course. Some familiar names in the coaching team as well. James Grady, I was going to say former Ayr United player, but he's got quite a fair few ex-clubs. I'm not sure we got time to run through all of those.
It's a good idea to promote these guys as well. I know Brian McLaughlin works at the Holyrood SFA Performance School. James Grady is at the Grange Academy in Kilmarnock, which has had a great record in recent years of producing young players there. Kilmarnock's first team is scattered with products from that school. So good exposure for them as well.
Now we're looking at the Scotland bench, plenty of players there who will be keen to try and get some game time this afternoon. I suppose there's no secret the man who perhaps has taken a lot of the headlines before this is Karamoko Dembele. There'll be a lot of perhaps focus on him just because he's so young, 13 years of age. He's been called up to this squad, and Scotland though quite keen clearly to show that he's here and he's involved, but by no means ready to walk straight into the team, so keeping a bit of a lid on expectations on that one.
That's to his credit that he's involved. I think it's 2 years above his natural age group, but the coaching staff obviously think he's ready. They want to have a look at him. Certainly everything, again, like Gilmore, there's been a lot of talk about him for the last year, obviously a bit more in recent weeks because he appeared in the development game for Celtic against Hearts, and certainly by no means the only talent on display here, but certainly one that has generated a lot of excitement.
Looking forward as well to getting a look a little bit later on at the reigning champions. Wales, of course, will bring you live commentary of their game at 5 o'clock up against Republic of Ireland, and I suppose at any level, any competition, if you're the holders, you go out there with something to prove, you're there to be shot at, and you're extra keen to try and show why you're champions.
Well, they've won it the last 2 years, and I think a lot of the things that the SFA have put in place or are trying to put in place, Wales have also done under Brian Flynn. I was at an under-19 tournament last year where we saw the likes of Kieran Tierney and Oliver Burke were sitting beside Brian Flynn, who told a couple of journalists all about the plans that Wales had going forward and the ones they put in place. These things do take time. There is going to be no overnight success, but I think from a Welsh point of view, from a Scottish point of view, you can see the development before your eyes.
Here come that Northern Ireland side then, first team back out after the half-time break. We'll tell you if either side makes any changes. Not entirely evident at the moment, certainly doesn't look like it. And just before we do start the coverage of the second half, let's take another look then at the only goal of the game so far, courtesy of Taylor Wilson. Home fans enjoyed that one. Taylor Wilson with the only goal of the game so far. The big centre half up from the back, sliding the ball underneath Tiernan Parker. And that has been the only goal of the game so far. Scotland yet to return from the dressing room at half-time, making their opponents wait. Northern Ireland just knocking the ball about, trying to get the legs going, making sure they can start this second half a bit quicker than they did the first. There's a familiar face in the Northern Ireland coaching setup, Stevie Frail. Well known to a lot of football fans in Scotland, was of course heavily involved with Celtic's youth set up in recent years.
Did a bit of a double take there when I saw him in the Northern Ireland tour.
Here comes Scotland. There is that man, Karamoko Dembele, number 7. As you can see, a good bit smaller than some of his teammates, but that won't put him off. I'm sure you've all seen the YouTube footage. But he has to settle for a place on the bench at the start of the second 45. It'll be interesting to see if we do see him on at all in the second half. Scotland then just making their way back out. What are you expecting from both sides at the start of this half then? Are we going to see a real difference in tempo, or Northern Ireland going to go for it, or again have we still got a bit of time for both sides to be patient and try and work their way into the second 45?
I think we'll see Northern Ireland go for it from the off. I think they'll have been sitting inside at half time, frustrated by their own efforts in the first half. No lack of effort, but maybe a lack of precision. Scotland, as they did all first half, they just have to stay patient.
So it is one of the Scotland coaches, James Grady, who's holding up play here. He's just making his way off the pitch. I'm sure we can forgive him for that one. And Jordan McAnuff going to get us underway for Northern Ireland. Referee David Monroe going about his final checks. And indeed, off we go. Played back to Ethan Gilbraith. He's going to go long straight away, try and get the Scotland backline turned, but again straight out for a throw-in this near side. The one-man kick-off, of course, which we saw introduced in the Euros in the summer. Not the one-man kick-off, should I say, the kick-off that allows the ball to be played in any direction. And remember, we want to know what you think of this game and indeed the others. Hashtag Victory Shield on Twitter. Be nice and let us know what you think. At Scottish FA on Twitter as well if you want, or hashtag Victory Shield. Who's been catching your eye? What are you expecting from the second 45? As the ball's just headed back from the crowd there. Sign that man up. Throw in on the near side. Jimmy Walker gets it back. Good composure from him. He's trying to hold up the ball. McClelland goes long low. He bends the ball down the right hand side. Fired back up the line. Corbett again. Infield to McAnuff. Finds McKeown, works it across. Galbraith this time, plays it right footed. Good chance for Northern Ireland to work an opening down the left hand side. Here's Ethan Warnock. Back inside it comes though. Scotland pressing well. Ferris just curls the ball out towards McClelland on this near side. Some early attacking play from Northern Ireland. Certainly Corbett, lovely footwork from him down the right hand side. Gets the ball across. It's deep header over the bar in the end. Well, Kenny, you said that the first half was a tale of two right backs. Corbett again working a good crossing opportunity. The ball was decent, and thankfully for Ryan Mullen's sake, the header from Ben Wilson over the bar.
Yeah, he's not shy about bursting from deep. Good footwork, good delivery, good athleticism as well. Definitely want to keep an eye on.
So bright start to the second half for Northern Ireland. As the goal scorer Taylor Wilson fires the ball clear. Semple has it. Great turn from him under pressure from two Northern Ireland defenders. Free kick, says referee David Monroe. Scotland got a bit of a chance to just take a breather, Kenny, as we expected. We're seeing Northern Ireland start fairly quickly in this second half.
Yeah, they have. I think it's important that Scotland maybe get a grip of the ball in the next 5 minutes. Just make sure the game goes back to being played at their pace.
So the ball back with Tiernan Parker at the moment. Northern Ireland building from the back. Worked across, bit of a chance for Semple to run onto here. Is he going to get there? Great sliding tackle from Corbett yet again. It has to be said, Kenny, if there's one man catching the eye for the Northern Irish side, it is Corbett. Not only two minutes ago showing us what he can do with his crossing ability, but great covering, tracking run there.
Yeah, it's just as well we've been talking up the Scottish right back Chris Hamilton just as much, but certainly I think Corbett's definitely the standout for Northern Ireland so far.
Cochrane finding a pocket of space there, comes back in. Gilmore with it, just steps over the ball. Looks as if he's going to go one way, then turns back. Plays it infield to McDonald. Out it comes to this near side to Binks. Into the feet of Leonard, yet again dropping deep. Leonard, out it comes to this side. Semple knocks it inside, the touch is heavy though. And Binks has it. And Semple just crowded out on this near side, and here comes Corbett yet again. Rampaging run down the right hand side. He's got Walker covering him, but Walker can't get there. Corbett's got another chance to cross the ball. He just stands it up straight into the arms of Ryan Mullen. And 3.5 minutes into the second half, already some warning signs for Scotland that Corbett's runs from deep in the right hand side for Northern Ireland have to be stopped.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing that Mullen's taking his time with the ball there. Scotland just have to regain control of this game, get back to what they were doing well in the first half.
Binks with it, left footed, out it comes towards Leonard, but Corbett gets there. Farrelly now has it. Just struggling to keep his footing a bit there, but he still has it. He's done incredibly well, has Farrelly. But in the end, that is a terrific tackle, that from Dean Campbell. Good covering play. Semple brings it in, nudge in the back. No foul. And the ball just ricochets out for a throw in on this near side. Seeing plenty of the ball down in this near side. And we are going to have a quick substitution into the second half. Coming off for Northern Ireland is Barney McKeown. And he's going to be replaced by Paul McAdory. So, not sure if McKeown's carrying a knock, just have to have a look at him there. He's been given the first few minutes perhaps of this second half to run it off, Kenny, but already an early change, and it certainly looks as if it's just going to be a kind of like for like swap.
You've got to think it's fitness related. I think it's certainly Northern Ireland started this second half well. Certainly with a great deal more intensity.
So substitute McAdory on for Northern Ireland then. And that's a lovely first touch bursting into the box, but it's a good covering tackle from Binks. Takes a bit of a kick there, but the ball out it goes on this near side. Maybe yet another corner kick to Northern Ireland. Oh, it's gone for a throw-in right in the corner. Oh, and it just doesn't quite pay off. looking for the quick 1-2, but Corbett can't get there. And Scotland just having to weather a little bit of a Northern Ireland storm at the start of this second half.
Yeah, we've not seen much of them in the opposing half so far. Midfield's just fallen out of it slightly. It was the area they dominated in the first half.
I'm sure Cochrane and Gilmore will be looking to burst deep and come and get the ball again like they did in the first half. Jamie Semple just wrestling there.
Nice wee
Jack Conlon.
Personal battle there.
A little bit of a tug at each other. Great tackle, Billy Gilmore. No, says the referee. It's a foul according to the man in the middle. Northern Ireland keen to get things. There we saw Gilmore just crunching into that tackle.
Keep an eye on Jamie Semple and Jack Conlon. There's an interesting wee tit for tat scrap going
just
on.
To the left of your screen, Jamie Semple making his way across to that man. I've had a little bit of a nibble. I think the assistant referee is just pointing that out to them. When it's a loose pass from Northern Ireland, here comes Leonard. He's driving forward. Great sliding tackle, though he's going to get a second chance. Just about manages to dig it out from underneath his feet. Cochrane has been closed down well. Cochrane on, he's lost the ball, and a good chance for Northern Ireland to break. Here they come. Played down the right hand side, but yet again the pass is too heavy. Ryan Mullen races off his line, and in the end, no harm done for Scotland, but good signs from Northern Ireland's point of view. Kenny winning the ball back. Cochrane just couldn't quite keep possession of the ball, and Northern Ireland coming fairly close to making him pay.
Yeah, Ben Wilson will be disappointed with his final pass there. It was a wasted opportunity. Did well to win it back in the final third.
Semple and Gilmore both fighting hard for it. Can't come away with the ball though. Conlon just looking to play the ball in. It's a lovely ball as well, left footed straight to the feet of Wilson, controls it well. And Wilson just dragging it back the way, looking for an option. Floats it towards McClelland on this near side.
You do wonder if Scotland's forward thinking players are feeling the effects of all that pressing in the first half. It's definitely dipped.
It certainly has been a bit less pressure from Scotland, but here they come again. It's slipped through to Jamie Semple and he's through on goal. Here he goes, number 9 for Scotland. Semple works it onto his left foot, fires it goalward. But in the end, it's straight at Tiernan Parker. It was good movement again, slack defending from Northern Ireland, but again, straight at the goalkeeper.
But no hesitation from Dean Campbell again to put his foot on the ball, look up and thread it through.
Semple looking a little bit disappointed with his effort there, but I think the angle perhaps just about got the better of him.
Semple's been unlucky today. He's put in a real selfless shift. He's maybe not had the same joy as some of the rest of them. I think if he gets a break, he'll have earned it.
Jamie Walker battling hard to defend for Scotland, but it's Corbett who has it for Northern Ireland. Slips it down the line to Farrelly. Very direct run from him, making his way in towards the centre. Fired towards goal. Is going to be out for a corner kick. I'm not sure Callum Ferris's effort was really going to trouble the goalkeeper, but he has got himself a corner. Seeing that chance again from Semple. Good closing down from Conlon, just closed the angle off. Now it's Northern Ireland with a corner up the other end. Jordan McAnuff with the delivery, and it comes volley towards the goal, blocked in the end, hacked away by Semple. Gilmore's the first man out to try and chase it. It's fired back in. Scotland appealing for offside, but in the end it is going to come all the way through to Mullen, just telling his teammates to calm down, no rush. And the Scotland goalkeeper, we've spoken about some of his attributes, but he certainly looks like a fairly calm young man as well, Kenny.
And that's exactly what you want if you're a Scotland defender. There's been no rushing, no panic. Even defending set pieces, he's been a composed influence.
Well, Binks with the long ball that time, gets it wrong though, all the way through to Parker, who in turn gets his kick wrong. There's loose control from Hamilton, tried to bring it down in the chest, but Northern Ireland now have it. Out on that left side is Conlon. Plays it left footed into the middle of the park. Good fighting again from that Scotland midfield. They're driving forward. It's always just that final pass, Kenny. There's been a few occasions have worked it well, won the ball back in midfield, but just can't quite find an attacking run.
Yeah, it's a similar story for both teams in this half so far. Northern Ireland have definitely lifted it, just lacking that little bit of cutting edge in the final third. Scotland gradually creeping back into the game.
49 minutes gone, just ticking over towards the 50. Scotland 1, Northern Ireland 0 in the opening game of the 2016 Victory Shield. Taylor Wilson with the goal. Let us know what you think. Hashtag Victory Shield on Twitter. You can have your say. And what about that for a pass for Scotland? In the end, Conlon does sweep up well. Christy Wilmot's clearly watching. She's on Twitter, says some great talent at this year's Victory Shield. Scotland currently lead Northern Ireland 1-0 at half time. And do they indeed, Christy? Good to have you watching. Scotland in no hurry as well, Kenny. I wonder if that's deliberate or whether that's as a result of the effort they've put in the first half. Hamilton in no rush at all to go over and take that throw in, just happy to relax and try and slow the tempo down a little bit more.
Yeah, and it's going to frustrate Northern Ireland because the onus is on them to find a goal from somewhat.
Hamilton with it into the feet of Gilmore. Immaculate control from the Rangers man again, twisting one way and then the other. Out he comes. He's been forced back well, but turns his way out of trouble brilliantly down the right hand side. Comes back in yet again. Scotland just forced to go all the way back, but comfortable enough with it. Binks plays it back to his goalkeeper.
Dizzy enough watching Gilmore, never mind playing against him. He twists and he turns.
Scotland with a chance just to build another attack from the back here if they can, coming forward. Yet again forced to turn back. I suppose credit for that must go to Northern Ireland. Good defensive shape so far in the second half. 11.5 minutes in. It is still Scotland 1, Northern Ireland 0 here though, here at Oriam on the outskirts of Edinburgh.
You can see Galbraith trying to drag Northern Ireland up the park, pressing that Scotland defence at every opportunity.
Mullen happy just to play the ball long though. Good flick on. Semple's going to chase again. He has got in behind Conlon. We told you those two had been battling hard. Well, it's Semple who's got the better of him on this occasion. Tries to fire it back towards the edge of the box. And in the end, it breaks down for Scotland. But good running from Semple. Tried to pick out a man as well. Didn't just flash it aimlessly. Tried to find a man on the edge of the box. Just slightly off with the execution.
He was unlucky. The final pass was maybe an inch out. He'd forced supporting bodies. But no, good strong running again down the right from Semple. He looks tired and no wonder.
Here's Hamilton. Plays it infield though. That man Gilmore yet again. Certainly enjoyed plenty of possession here so far this afternoon. Dean Campbell as well, coming forward. Worked infield. That's a lovely turn there. He's thinking about a shot at goal. Thinks about it again. Drags it back on to the right foot. Plays it out. Leonard. He's got his captain Hamilton for company out on the right hand side. Fakes the cross. Plays it back into Gilmore. Gilmore lifts the head. He's going to take it on a run though. Thought about the cross. Ball just gets stuck under the feet of Cochrane. The ball breaks for Northern Ireland. Galbraith with it. Out to the near side to Corbett. Cochrane trying to close the ball down. Corbett does ever so well just to skip away from him. Composure as always from the Northern Ireland right back, it must be said. Going to go long again this time. Conlon left footed. Out to Corbett. Brings it down in the chest. Flicks it up over the head of Leonard. Ball just bouncing around. Cochrane with it again. He loses it. He was excellent in that first 40 minutes, but it's been a feature of his play in the second half so far. Perhaps just saw Cochrane again there, just losing the ball. Kenny had a little bit of a nibble and a free kick to Northern Ireland. Going to have a double change here by the looks of it for Scotland. First man coming off is number 11 Anthony McDonald. He's done a power of running as well, performed ever so well. Zach Butterworth coming on for Scotland, and the other substitution coming off, number 20 Harry Cochrane, has been excellent in the opening period so far, and he's going to be replaced by Ethan Irahan. So double change for Scotland, Kenny, and as we suggested, some fresh legs.
Certainly Cochrane's earned a lie down for his efforts in that first half.
Going to be a free kick to Northern Ireland though. Jordan McAniff with it, floats it in deep. It's going to go over the head of everyone, and it doesn't really matter who you are, Kenny. I think everyone gets frustrated with that type of delivery. You've sent everyone up, and all of a sudden it goes all the way out for a goal kick. I
think frustration's the word, because again, you couldn't accuse anyone in the Northern Ireland team of shirking or not giving it their all today. They've hung in there, but it's just that cutting edge, that final ball in the final third that's letting them down. So certainly still in the game.
Scotland with the fresh legs on though. Zach Butterworth being one of them. Let's see what effect that has. Flicked up into there by Semple. Leonard jumps for it. Semple again just wrapping his foot around, poking the ball out for a throw-in.
Semple making the point he could do with some support up there.
He certainly has put himself about, the Motherwell youngster. As the ball goes down the right hand side, Binks comfortably enough across though, left footed it goes, breaks into the middle of the park. Conlon with that left boot of his, but the pass is loose this time. Campbell picks it up, chance for Scotland to break, goes left footed over the top. Zach Butterworth, the man just on with the ball, can he make an immediate impression? Steps over the ball, looks to drop the shoulder and get to the byline, does ever so well. Butterworth, the cross comes in, well cleared away in the end by Sam McClelland. And in the end there is going to be a free kick to Northern Ireland, but certainly good signs initially from the Scotland substitute Butterworth.
Yeah, listen, that's all you can ask for, is that they get themselves involved in the game, wants to make his impact felt.
So Zach Butterworth on, the man working his way down the far side. Another man who is attached to Rangers, 15-year-old. Another one of the Graham High School pupils. Just going to see the ball out for a goal kick.
There's been a lot said and written about the performance school setup, but I don't think a lot of people appreciate how much these kids are putting into it. They're starting early in the morning, they're finishing late at night. There's a great deal of professionalism even at that early age.
Now remember, you can get in touch, hashtag Victory Shield, if you want to tell us your opinion on the game. Joe Marrow's done just that. He says Scotland need to bring on Aaron Presley for more of an attacking threat. So Joe Marrow is watching. He wants to see Aaron Presley, son of Stephen.
There's a man that sounds like he knows what he's talking about. It's a very specific shout.
Absolutely, must be a fan of Aaron Presley's work. It'll be interesting to see if we do see him before the end of the afternoon, as the ball's worked out again to Binks. Looks up, plays it left footed into Leonard inside the centre circle, plays it out to the far side. Captain Chris Hamilton with it into the feet of Butterworth. Just working a triangle there, the ball back with Hamilton. Fired across the back line to Binks. As you can see, Scotland more than happy just to keep the ball. They haven't quite had it all their own way in this second half so far, so just trying to get a stranglehold on possession. Semple with a lovely layoff. There's Butterworth. Billy Gilmore plays it through. Butterworth, the man running down the right hand side. The offside flag is up though. Nice move that from Scotland, O'Kenny. Lovely first time layoff from Semple. Gilmore with it, slipped the ball through to Butterworth, and he's making the point to the assistant referee. He doesn't think he was offside.
You can maybe see how keen Butterworth is to get involved. He maybe set off just an inch too soon. Another finely executed, finely weighted through ball from that man Billy Gilmore again.
Ball goes long, it's going to be fired over the top, giving Conor Farrelly something to chase. He's not favourite to get there, and in the end Hamilton does well, just fires it up line. Lovely touch that from Butterworth, finds Gilmore. Campbell looking just to try and shape it down the right hand side. No real Scotland player on the same wavelength. Semple the closest to it, but he's trying to tell his teammates he needs some reinforcements if he's going to press the ball that high up the field.
Semple covering a lot of ground up there.
I wonder how long he can keep that up for. 58 minutes on the clock, still Scotland 1, Northern Ireland 0. Taylor Wilson with the only goal of the game so far. There's the other substitute for Scotland. Just a little bit disjointed the second half. Both teams just trying to dominate proceedings. Certainly Scotland had the better of the first 40 minutes. As that ball comes down the left hand side, Semple does well. Good target man play from him, brings it in. The pass finds Gilmore, he controls it in the chest. Skips away from Conlon. Conlon just can't get to grips. He's trying, he's pulling, he's kicking. Referee lets it go.
Just shaking my head. Great balance again from Gilmore. We are labouring the point here about Billy Gilmore, but for anyone watching at home, his obvious potential's there.
If he keeps producing the talent on the field, we have to keep talking about him. That's the way it works. Jamie Semple taking a bit of a kick there. He's happy just to keep going as well though. Tries to turn back. Semple plays it down the line. No one really there. Mark Leonard thought about chasing the ball down. Can't quite get there though. Too much ground for him to cover.
I think Leonard deserves a mention because as scrappy as the second half's been at times, he's remained composed. I mean, he very rarely seems ruffled.
McClellan playing it away there. Irahan just trying to close it down. There goes Gilmore. Down he tumbles. He picks himself back up. Doesn't mind that at all. Plays it down to Leonard on this near side. Leonard just turning in. Finds a substitute, Irahan. Left-footed, a bit too much on it for Taylor Wilson. He has to turn back to his goalkeeper Mullen. Binks now with it, looks up. Going to go for the low ball into the feet of Gilmore, takes it in first time. Heavy challenge that time from Callum Ferris. Referee's going to have a word. I don't think there was too much doubt about that decision.
And Billy Gilmore laughing his head off at that one.
Well, he's got the yellow card in his hand, the referee, and he does indeed show it to Callum Ferris. First booking of the afternoon. Clattered in to Billy Gilmore, and he gets a yellow card for his
Born of
troubles.
frustration, that one. They just can't get near him.
So a couple of more substitutions to bring you. First of all, Scotland. Coming on for Scotland is number 17, Kieran McGrath. Just waiting to find out who's going to be come off, and well, we touched on it. Jamie Semple. The Motherwell man's done a power of running, Kenny, and no surprise to see, after an excellent performance, he's going to come off and be replaced by Kieran McGrath.
And he looks a tired boy, and no wonder. He really has covered a lot of ground up there. Saying it, an unselfish shift.
Yeah, similarly for Northern Ireland, the man coming off is Ethan Galbraith. Number 8 has been an impressive performer for them so far, and he's going to be replaced by number 13, who is Jack Scott. And the second of a double substitution. The other man coming off is Connor Farrelly. We've seen some good work from him in the first half as well, perhaps tired ever so slightly in the second. And he's going to be replaced by number 14, and that is Lee O'Brien. So with 62 minutes gone, Kenny, both sides with a number of sets of fresh legs on there. Scotland trying to hammer home the advantage, and Northern Ireland trying to get their way back into this game.
Yeah, and Kieran McGrath will certainly ask a few questions. I know how highly he was thought of at Hibs before Celtic paid a considerable fee to take him. And, he's another one of those Celtic players that's had exposure playing in competitions abroad, UEFA Youth League. It's all part of their education.
Binks is up, wins well. Irahan coming forward, the substitute, left-footed into Leonard. He's got a couple of options. Just goes into the feet of McGrath.
McGrath showing for it straight away.
These boys got about 20 minutes or so to show what they're made of, these substitutes. Try and play their way into the manager's thoughts for the rest of the games. That's a lovely touch, finds Billy Gilmore. Gilmore right-footed, dinks it into Butterworth. Eventually brings it down with a fairly unorthodox first touch. There's Hamilton, swings it across with the right boot, cut out in the end.
Hamilton must be feeling it as well. He hasn't stopped up and down that right flank since the first whistle.
And looking at some of the attacking players who've survived, we talked about Mark Leonard. He's put in a great shift. He's still on. Billy Gilmore as well. Good fitness levels from those boys. Scotland again just taking their time with the throw in. Hamilton with it. He's assessing his options. Hamilton getting to the byline. Cross is blocked. He's having a little bit of a pull back. Certainly spotted by the assistant referee. Free kick to Northern Ireland on the far side. Northern Ireland perhaps thinking about another substitution down in front of us as well. We'll bring you news of that as soon as we get it.
Game starting to get just that little bit more niggly.
Yep.
As the time's wearing on.
Saw the first booking of the afternoon, didn't we? Just a couple of moments ago. Callum Ferris was the man who received the only yellow card of the game so far. There goes Irahan again. One of the Scotland substitutes did ever so well. Digs the ball out, finds Leonard. Leonard goes for the nutmeg, can't get it away from Northern Ireland skipper McAniff though. Played out to this far side. Bit of a foot race between Corbett and Walker to see who's going to get there. Walker does get there first. And he's going to try and find Leonard down this left hand side. Leonard does ever so well, flying into the tackle. So does Gilmore. And I think that was the first tackle. Leonard and McClelland. The referees brought it back.
McClelland certainly doesn't hold back.
And McAnuff again going long, this time with the right foot. Header clear by Wilson. Fired towards goal. I think we'll file that one under ambitious from substitute Jack Scott. Ryan Mullen happy to see it drift out for a goal kick.
It was certainly ambitious. And Mullen will take them all day. Happy just to slow things down. All the onus on Northern Ireland to produce. So far, so good for Scotland.
Hashtag Victory Shield if you want to let us know what you think. Bernard Burns says good quality game. He's enjoying what he's seeing so far. Irahan with the ball. Plays it into Gilmore. Gilmore just trying to hold off. A couple of tackles there. A few players losing their footing, but the referee brings it back for a free kick. Scotland getting everyone forward. Looks as if Hamilton's going to be the man to take. Northern Ireland have defended very well in this second half so far, Kenny.
Listen, I don't think there's been much in the second half at all. It's been a lot scrappier. Both teams certainly putting everything into it. I think it's going to be like this all week.
Defensive line stretched out. Billy Gilmore's free kick into the danger area, and it's fired over the bar. It was that man, Taylor Wilson, again, the man who got the only goal of the game so far. Again he was up, again he was at the back post, but this time he fired over the bar.
Taylor Wilson managing to shake off his marker again.
Pass a little bit loose from Northern Ireland, but McClelland's going to keep it in. Does well just to play the ball back to his goalkeeper. McAnuff, the skipper, dropping deep this time in between the two centre backs to get the ball. Good turn back with McClelland.
Quality of the delivery from Scotland at set pieces has been excellent, whether it's Gilmore or Cochrane.
Here comes
to attack.
Jack Scott though, firing it down the right hand side. Corbett with it. He's impressed all afternoon, has Corbett, and he's got the ball again. Tries to flick it beyond Leonard. There was that chance from Wilson again, only about 4 yards out by the time he fired it over the bar, appealing for the corner. I know it was a difficult first time ball to take, Kenny, but I think perhaps slightly disappointed he'll be that he couldn't make the keeper work from that distance.
It will be Wilson, but I think credit has to go to Jack Conlon as well at the back for Northern Ireland. He tracked the run all the way, made it difficult, put him under pressure.
McAnuff with it. Decides to play it in first time, calls for a handball, referee says no. Ball slipped through. Binks is going to just clean up, saves his goalkeeper from coming from it.
No nonsense from Binks. We're getting to that time in the match where maybe some of the football principles go out the window a wee bit.
67 minutes on the clock. It is still the Scots who lead by a slender margin here at Oriam in Edinburgh. Headed up into the air. Kieran McGrath's the man trying to chase it. He's going to have to chase it again. Here is McGrath. Well played by McClelland. He's defended strongly all day, has the Northern Ireland defender. Good footwork as well. Jack Scott's looked sharp since he's come on. Conlon with it, plays it back inside to his captain once again. It's been a bit of a feature of this second half. Northern Ireland skipper Jordan McAnuff just dropping deep, trying to dictate play, trying to get in the ball, make things happen. And there he is, he has it yet again. Just out to the right hand side this time. Northern Ireland switching the play after having a fair bit of joy down this right side. Out it goes to the left once more. McAnuff just floats the ball out to this near side. McClelland struggling to get there. Are they going to keep it in? Corbett does. McClelland with it. Great chasing from the Northern Ireland right back, and McClelland just plays it down the channel. Binks comes across well, and I suppose that's exactly what you're looking for your centre backs to do, Kenny. Sweep up any danger if the full backs can't get there.
And they've been alert from start to finish. Northern Ireland have a precious little joy.
Are working well down the right hand side in this second half of Northern Ireland. Binks with it. Over the top it goes. Gives McGrath something to chase. It's well out by Tiernan Parker. Spotted the danger, read it well. As that ball goes over the top, and his opposite number might have to do the same. Binks is going to help him out. Into Corbett. Leonard tries to stand him up, but a lovely step over from Corbett in a good crossing position. In the end, just a bit too deep yet again, though. Perhaps most of Northern Ireland's good work coming from that man, Corbett, at right back.
I think we've said it 2 or 3 times now. Again, like Gilmore for Scotland, clearly their standout player. And he looks frustrated that he's maybe not had the movement in front of him to benefit from these crosses.
Cross was a bit deep on that occasion. Scotland goalkeeper Ryan Mullen again, just telling his players to calm down, telling them to get up the field. Has a look up. He's going to fire it up towards McGrath. He can't get there. Gilmore's in, jumps high. Waiting for the offside flag, and indeed it does go up. McGrath brought the ball down, played it in behind. He thought he was onside, did the substitute. And as we move into the final 10 minutes of this game, certainly on a bit of a knife edge, Scotland with a slender advantage, but Northern Ireland will feel, Kenny, that with 10 minutes to go, they can have a real go here and try and salvage something.
They've not had that one clear-cut chance in the game yet. You've got to think one's going to fall their way.
Well, Conlon's the man who's going to try and get it from the long ball. Binks is up, so is Butterworth. Bit of head tennis going on. Drops down to Butterworth. Can only fire it onto the chest of Jack Scott. He rolls it midfield. McAnuff with a nice ball out to the left hand side. It's going to come in early, blocked by the Scotland defender, cut towards the end of the box. But Rahan clears the danger for now. Here it comes again. Well read that time by Jamie Walker coming forward, the left back. He's looking for the Scotland substitute. Ball spins up high into the crowd again, header back, this time by
well done,
Chris McCart.
You never lose it.
I think he's perhaps played the game before, had his eye on it the whole way. Well done him. Northern Ireland thinking about a couple of more changes late on in this one as they look to try and grab that equaliser. Bringing news of those as soon as they happen. Good throw in down the line though. Ben Wilson getting to the corner flag, tries to cross it, well blocked. Jamie Walker with it. Just flicks the left-footed pass into the path of Butterworth. The pass from him's too heavy though. McAnuff with it. He's going to play it out to the left-back position. Ethan Warnock with it. Looks for the long ball into the box. It goes beyond everyone. And despite protests from Northern Ireland, that's going to be yet another goal kick to Scotland.
A question on Twitter via @DUFCCoaches1 who wants us to compare the crop from 2000 to 2001.
Going back a bit, I'll leave that one with you. You can think about that while we tell you about these substitutions. But remember, we do want you all to have your say. #VictoryShield or @ScottishFA on Twitter. Coming off then, number 7 Callum Ferris, the man who's been booked. And he's going to be replaced by number 18, who is Caelan McLaughlin. So yet again, Northern Ireland head coach Darren Murphy is just rolling the dice, Kenny. Throwing another substitute on there as well. George Curran, the man coming on. So plenty of substitutions for Northern Ireland at this late stage as they just try and get themselves back into this game.
Might as well roll the dice at this point, nothing to lose.
Great win again from McClelland. Headers the ball high up, good chest control as well, but Rahan's there. Scotland could well be in attack here. Butterworth, he's got a clear sight at goal. He's into the box and he fires it high into the net. Scotland substitute Zach Butterworth perhaps wraps up this game for Scotland. He got himself down the left hand side of the box, flicked the ball into the far corner, and he makes it Scotland 2, Northern Ireland 0 after 73 minutes.
We did say Northern Ireland would have to push, and that would leave gaps at the back for Scotland to exploit, and Butterworth has made a real impact since coming on. He deserves that composed finish.
So with 7 minutes to go, it is Scotland who have doubled their advantage. Butterworth, the substitute with the goal, took it ever so well. We've seen Scotland get in similar positions earlier on in the game, no one with the composure of that man though. Right-footed Kenny, and he just floated it, flicked it with the outside of his boot, and it went beyond keeper Tiernan Parker and into the far corner.
And Northern Ireland haven't really looked like scoring so far, so you've got to think Scotland will be able to see this out now.
Certainly does look as if this game might just be beyond the Northern Irish side at this stage. Have performed well in the second half, but 2 goals down, 8 minutes to go. We'll certainly be looking for an instant response if they can get one. But here's Leonard, he's going to try and play it over the top for Butterworth again. Clearly in confident mood after that goal, brings it down with the outside of the right boot, across he goes, out to the far side. McGrath has it, plays it back in, striding forward there, and Dean Campbell, well won again. Oh, just a pinball in the middle of the Northern Ireland half there. Leonard has it, tries to play it in behind, late tackle that time from McClelland, referee spots it. It certainly looked like a bit of a sore one.
Another tired lunge there. Just to quickly answer that Twitter question, I think he's talking about the year these boys were actually born. The last crop with Celtic's Jack Aitchison, Rangers Zach Rudden, Southampton's Kieran Freeman. Certainly again, players with a lot of potential. Kieran Freeman's now down at Southampton after moving from Dundee United. He's just picked up a bad cruciate ligament injury, but certainly hopes high for a lot of them. Aitchison's making great progress at Celtic.
Scoring of course in his debut for the Hoops at the end of last season. A free kick to Scotland. Gilmore with it, he gets it straight back. Played close attention that time by McAnuff. Good closing down from the Northern Ireland man. And with 75 minutes on the clock, Kenny, I suppose we should start the discussion about who's been the man of the match. We want to hear from you on Twitter, #VictoryShield. Let us know who your man of the match has been. But Kenny, Any thoughts as to who that man might be?
Listen, there's been a few standouts in the.
I think I might know what you're going to say.
Scotland shirts. Should I bother even giving it the big build-up?
At least justify yourself.
I think Chris Hamilton at right back's been terrific. Constant support down that right side. I think Dean Campbell, potentially two of the better through balls. I think Jake Corbett at right back for Northern Ireland has certainly been his team's best player. But listen, there's only one man in the match for me, and that is Billy Gilmore. Everything he's done has been a touch of class.
So there you are, let us know what you think on Twitter, hashtag Victory Shield. Do you agree with Kenny's pick? He believes number 10 for Scotland, Billy Gilmore, the young Rangers player, is man. Just getting another look at that goal, wonderful finish it was. Substitution for Scotland coming off number 8, Mark Leonard. He's going to be replaced by number 18, who's Josh Walker. And you have to say, it really has been a terrific shift from Mark Leonard. Leonard's another one we've certainly mentioned throughout. Again, I think one of the best things you could say about these Scotland players from midfield to front is that they've all got great variety to the game. All technically gifted, all play with their head up. None of them afraid to put in a shift. That ball's just dinked down the right hand side. It's going to be a bit too much to ask from the Scotland attackers to get there. I'm looking forward to hearing from the respective managers after this one. Brian McLaughlin, the Scotland head coach, I'm sure he'll be delighted with what he's seen. Perhaps Darren Murphy, the Northern Irish manager, not quite so happy. But either way, you can see all the post-match interviews on the Scotland national team Facebook page. So head over there after the game and find out what the managers had to say about their team's performances. I think Aaron Presley's certainly an imposing figure up front. The last time I saw him, he was cutting about in his dad's training gear at Hearts and Falkirk. He's certainly come a long way since then. He certainly looks like a big lad, does Aaron Presley, as we told you earlier, son of Stephen. But it's George Curran on the ball for Northern Ireland at the moment, just trying to salvage something from this game. Corbett, not for the first time, goes down the right hand side. Butterworth equal to it though, does well, sees the ball out for a throw in. And there he is, Kenny's man of the match, number 10, Billy Gilmore. The Rangers player has really been at the heart of everything Scotland have done this afternoon, and that's why Kenny's chosen him as his man of the match. Scotland clearing the ball there. Chance for Northern Ireland to put a bit of pressure on in the closing stages, at least try and get a goal back, give Scotland something to think about in the closing minutes. Ryan Mullen there just organising, not wanting to switch off at all. Jamie Walker going over to mark the back post. George Curran's just going to put a bit of pressure on the goalkeeper here as this one comes in from McAnuff. Across it goes, and there it is, up again, but the Scotland goalkeeper Ryan Mullen happy to just see it land in his arms. Kenny, another good header from Northern Ireland. Perhaps if you're being hypercritical of Scotland, they've probably given away a couple too many headers in those situations, but on the other hand, never really been in too much danger. They have given a few headers away, but they are lacking a few inches, so I suppose you can give them the odd one. What I would say is Mullen hasn't really been tested at full stretch, but everything he's done with minimum fuss. As you say, that's what you want from a goalkeeper. Somebody's going to fill you with confidence. So ticking down ever closer to the full-time whistle here at Oriam in Edinburgh. Scotland certainly look as if they are going to win this opening game of the 2016 Victory Shield. Northern Ireland not giving up hope just yet though. McClelland has it, goes right footed out into the left back position now. Ethan Warnock with it, tries to come into the centre circle. That's well cut out though. Gilmore again, always twisting one way and then the other. And there is Aaron Presley, by some distance one of the taller players on the field. And I think Kenny clearly likes the ball into feet as well, but I don't think it's going to be any secret that he's a bit of a threat in the air. Let's be blunt, he's an absolute unit. So is that what the kids say these days? That's the technical term. Okay, doke. Don't need a pro licence to tell you that. I'll take your word for it. Here goes Hamilton again, still full of running late in the game. Not in any rush to get the ball in though. Good block in the end by Lee O'Brien. It's hashtag Victory Shield on Twitter, or contact us at Scottish FA if you want to let us know what you think. Well, Kenny, good to see that at least someone agrees with you. Jim McGreevy has been on Twitter. He says, seen him, I assume he means Billy Gilmore, at Milk Cup for the Gers. He's different gravy, been super today. And he's building him up, a future Rangers legend. I think we'll leave that one to see how that pans out over the next few years. Robbie McInnes agrees. What a great young prospect in Billy Gilmore. Very composed on the ball. Great footballer. And some praise as well for Northern Ireland. That's what we like. Bernard Burns says Corbett reminds me a bit of Seamus Coleman.
I think that's a good comparison.
So clearly a few players on the field catching the eyes of the viewers. Do get in touch. #Victory Shield. Let us know what you think. And we are reaching the end of the first minute of an additional 2. So clearly, Kenny, I think it's safe to say, don't want to be the victim of a commentator's curse here, but this game dead and buried, and Scotland clearly there in no rush to take the throw in.
I think you can say with some confidence that Scotland will see this out. It's a great start to the Victory Shield. Brian McLaughlin and James Grady will be absolutely delighted. There's
Presley again, just using his physical presence, trying to win the ball back. Gilmore as well, nipping in, claiming for a corner. But in the end, referee David Monroe says goal kick. And Tiernan Parker is going to try and get this one away as quick as he can, though he's thinking about playing it short. Gilmore again, still buzzing around, full of energy.
I think credit goes to Butterworth there, because Northern Ireland looked to play it out quickly from the back, but he was all over that, pressing very quickly even at this late stage.
Presley coming across now to try and close it down, but Northern Ireland work it well into the midfield. McAnuff's done well all afternoon. He's been a real key player for Northern Ireland. Just hasn't been able to drag his team into a winning position. Ball slipped down the line though. Hamilton's going to chase. Cross eventually comes in. 2 Scotland players underneath it. Walk back to the edge of the box. McAnuff with it. Out it comes to this near side. Corbett floats it in. Just bouncing too high. Just a late bit of danger there for Scotland, but they do clear their lines. And there goes the full time whistle. The home crowd happy with what they've seen. It's finished here. Scotland 2, Northern Ireland 0. And Kenny, a good win for the hosts in the opening game of the 2016 Victory Shield.
Couldn't really have asked any more of them. Composed on the ball, hard working off it. They were content to pick their passes, wait for the opportunities when they arose, and two fine finishes. So it was a clean sheet for good measure as well.
It was a dogged performance from Northern Ireland, but in the end a goal in each half. One in the first 40 from Taylor Wilson, and one late on from Zach Butterworth. Wraps up the game for Scotland. Here in the centre of your screen, Billy Gilmore, the man of the match, according to Kenny. And we spoke about all the benefits an opening win in a competition can do. Kenny, Scotland clearly will be full of confidence after that one, and a good chance though for Northern Ireland to pick themselves up again.
I think there's plenty of positives for them as well. Maybe in the final third they'll be frustrated. They didn't really work Ryan Mullen the way they would have liked, but certainly a threat from set pieces at the back. Say one of the game's best players in Jake Corbett at right back and combative in midfield, so no, they'll pick themselves up and go again. Just looking at the Scotland players coming off then, plenty of congratulations amongst the teammates. The management duo will be happy. Remember, you can see the post-match interviews on Facebook. Plenty of time to still look at some exciting action coming up for the rest of the afternoon. Remember, we're going to take a brief break, but we will be back later on. 5 o'clock kick-off for Wales against Republic of Ireland, and I'm sure after that you want plenty more, and we're going to be here right across the week as well. Tuesday the 1st of November, Republic of Ireland against Northern Ireland, the first game, and then Scotland against Wales. And then on Friday the 4th we'll be back for the final day, Northern Ireland against Wales, and Scotland looking to finish off the competition in style against the Republic of Ireland. So, as you can see, Scotland captain Chris Hamilton, the man who was full of energy all afternoon, the man with the armband, Kenny, he put in a good shift down the right hand side, and in many ways showed the drive and energy that was evident in most of Scotland's play this afternoon. As they certainly did. I think across football, not just in this country, there's a real lack of full-backs and centre-backs breaking through, so no, Chris is definitely one to keep an eye on. Certainly your modern full-back, attacking at every opportunity. Comfortable defensively.
Scotland substitutes just making their way off the field. So a job well done for Scotland then. Opening game of the 2016 Victory Shield does go the way of the hosts. Taylor Wilson and Zach Butterworth with the goals, and it finished here at Oriam. Scotland 2, Northern Ireland 0.